Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We are getting back into Love Island All Stars and we are now on episode 15. As I always say, I go in chronological order. I always do. But before we get into this episode, which is a mess and a half, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and do videos. And let's talk about this episode. So basically, we know a couple's going to be leaving imminently at the end of the day due to a public vote. It doesn't happen in this episode, so I'm thinking it's probably going to come at the next episode. So all I am saying is, who is going to tell Callum and Molly? Who is going to tell Callum and Molly in regards to the bullshit that is going on between Georgia S and Tom at the moment? Well, more so the behaviours of Georgia S. Because now we know Sophie knows. We know Chris knows. We know, I think Josh now knows. Yeah. And I think Georgia H knows now. So that's four people within this island. And not one person has literally let the cat out of the bag. Not one person. And Georgia S or even Tom, out of respect for the people that they're coupled up with, ain't said shit. That says a lot for people's, people's character. Anyway, so see, Mitch has pulled Libby for a chat basically, and he talks about the chat that he had with Georgia H, and basically he wants to getting to know Georgia H, but wanted Libby to have the outsetters to say like, this is what I'm going to do now, this is where we're at. I'm like, you two pieced things out and decided to be friends, so I don't understand why they're having this conversation. I mean, it's a good, Mitch is good for actually sitting there and changing a little bit of behaviours by sitting there and actually telling Libby, like, this is where I'm going and this is what I'm going to be doing with my time right now. Okay, but you said you was going to be friends, so at the end of the day, whatever you do next is up to you. It's up to you. You two don't have to explain anything to each other at the end of the day. So Libby then goes back and tells the girls, because she was sitting with Georgia H at the time and with Kaz, in regards to what Mitch talked about in regards to him wanting to get to know Georgia H even more. So Libby's basically said at the end of the day he didn't like her, which is true. Mitch did not like Libby, but then the girls are all guffing, oh yeah, he did. No, if Mitch truly liked Libby, he wouldn't have treated her in the manner that he did. He would have treated her with a little bit more respect and decorum, but he did not. I don't know if he's learned how to do that with a girl that he likes, but we shall see. He definitely did not do that with Libby. So all Libby can deduce from that is Mitch did not like her. And I've been saying from the get-go, Mitch don't like her. Mitch was keeping her as a placeholder until someone better came along. So then you see Mitch asking Georgia H if he's a bad guy. And Georgia H is basically saying, no, Libby deserved to know that, you know, he wanted to get on and get ready with Georgia H at the end of the day. I'm like, are you for real? Mitch is the preferable bad guy, just like Georgia S is the preferable bad girl. But they like to dress it up in sugar coating and make themselves like they're these innocent people and they can't do no wrong. Do you know what I mean? So with anything that Mitch says, especially as he's coming out with the sweet and niceness and all this, that and the other to Georgia H, I would take it with a pinch of salt. I would literally take it with a pinch of salt and a dash of lemon and lime. That's what I would do. I would not drop and feed into everything that he's feeding me at face value, because I would have been watching Mitch and how he behaved with the girl that was before me. So Georgia H needs to like keep a balance when it comes to me. So you see Georgia S move on from there. Georgia H move on from there and go straight to Georgia S, because like all the others are in the kitchen having a chat. And basically straight away, Georgia H says to Georgia S, I feel like we're the biggest bitches in the villa. And then Georgia H explains exactly the shit that's gone down with Libby, the shit that's gone down with Mitch, and this, that and the other. But my remit would be, is at least Georgia H was open with what she was wanting to do with Mitch. She'd been open from the get-go that she liked Mitch and she wanted to get to know Mitch, but she didn't take the opportunity. But now she's, because Mitch and Libby ain't in nothing. The difference with Georgia S is Georgia S is in something with Callum. Tom is kinda in something with Molly, but knows that Molly is a slow burner because she's trying to get to know who Tom is. Georgia S is different because Georgia S is sneaky as fuck. She's sneaky as fuck. Georgia S knows what the hell she's doing in how she's acting, and in telling certain people she's trying to get certain people on side with her to make it seem as though it's not as bad as it is, but it is. It really is, because when that shit hits the fan, there's no telling where the shrapnel's gonna land. And I don't think Georgia S is gonna be prepared for that. Like, honestly prepared for that. I'm gonna say straight out with Josh and Sophie, I don't see it. I don't see no chemistry there. I know Sophie was saying that she really liked Josh, but I think Josh is apparently giving her lip service too, and we will see if that changes with Josh when someone else comes in the villa. If someone else comes in the villa, and we'll see how that puts paid to their interactions right now, because Sophie is definitely feeling Josh, but I don't think Josh is feeling her as much as he should be. But then you've got Chris. Basically, he's going to be gunning for Sophie. He's already said that she was his crush, basically his preference. And I'm saying this is what happens when your preferences don't prefer you, because Sophie is Chris's preference, but Sophie is really not giving Chris an edge in anything, like even opening to say, yes, I'm hella interested in you in any way, shape or form. But as we go back to the night time, Toby turns to Chris and says to Chris, just look after Kaz, because she was a little bit sore in regards to the date that Tyler and Hannah did go on. And Chris says, definitely, and this is what I mean. Everybody looks out for Kaz, because Kaz is just so, she's just so beautiful. She's just so beautiful in that villa, like seriously. So then after everybody's gone to bed, you see the screen flip to Josh and Sophie, and they're chatting. And Josh is there saying about how Sophie's my future wife and da-da-da-da. I thought, boy, you're full of it. You is full of it. I know you ain't feeling Sophie in the way that you think you're feeling Sophie. You just want to beat out Chris. You just don't want Chris to have what you have right now at the end of the day. But then Sophie, you see that sweet thing about pillow talk? Yes, Sophie gives the pillow talk and tells Josh everything in regards to what Georgia S has been saying to her in regards to Callum and Tom. And Josh is like, what? Like hella shocked, because of course they ain't told him nothing. So Sophie's told him everything. Yeah. So then Sophie then, after she tells him, backs it up with, please don't tell Callum, basically. So now Josh can't tell Callum. He can't. Like, seriously can't. I mean, if they were going by bro code, he should tell Callum, because to be fair, Callum and Molly should know what the fuck is going on. But I think it's going to be a bit off that if it does come out, everybody's going to know except for them, and it's going to make Callum and Molly look like fools. So in the daytime, everybody's having their conversations, and you see Josh and Tom have a conversation, and basically Josh is asking Tom what's the crack with Georgia S. And basically he told Tom exactly what Georgia S had been saying to Sophie in that regard, and basically asked Tom if she knew, basically said to Tom that if Georgia S knew the door was open, that she would go for Tom, and she would if she knew the door was open, which I think she kind of does. But Tom is playing it cool because he's with Molly. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, and to be fair, it's Georgia S that is putting the pressure on Tom right now. It really is. So then the text comes in, snog, marry, pie. And you know this challenge is not easy. Mitch messed up with the last one. A lot of the people in Love Island messed up with the last one. So the girls line up first. So Mitch snogged Georgia H, said he would marry Hannah and pied Libby. Of course he would pie Libby. But he gave the reason that Libby was nothing but stress. And I thought, hold on a minute, my guy. Libby weren't the stress, Mitch. Mitch, you were the fucking stress. Mitch was the one that caused majority of the stress in that place to Libby, which then caused a strain on them getting to know each other, because Mitch is a dickhead at the end of the day. So basically Libby came back with a one-liner and said, it's called setting boundaries. If you don't like it, you can. And Mitch goes, and I did. So I think it was Arabella that then shouted, you know what, Libby, you had a lucky escape, babe. Mitch literally let it coast until he got to the end and then turned around and says to Arabella, and so did Chris. And I thought, Mitch is fucked up for that, because at the end of the day, this is what I mean about Mitch not accepting no responsibility for his actions, because Libby did not cause the stress. Libby did not cause no drama. It was Mitch that caused it all with the how he spoke, yeah, and how he acted with Libby at the end of the day. So Toby snogged Molly. He married Arabella, and he pied Georgia S. And she had the audacity to say, are you serious? Georgia S deserved that pie, like fully. She deserved all the pies. She should have had pies from all the guys that know about her shit that she's pulling behind Callum's back. At the end of the day, she should have had all the pies, and that's what I was hoping for, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Tyler snogged Hannah, married Kaz. I was like, okay, well, damn, okay, because Kaz is a good girl. Kaz is a good girl, but he pied Libby, and he did that because she was always on him. And I said that in my last episode, that Libby needs to take a step back. I know Kaz is your girl, I know Kaz is Libby's girl, but you know what, let them sort their shit out by themselves. You don't have to constantly be on it in that sense. So then Anton snogged Georgia H and snogged her good, but then spoils it by falling in the freaking pool. Man stepped back too far, then had to style it out by spinning and jumping in the pool, because if he didn't style it out, that man would have just fell backwards into the pool and been like, shit. And Georgia H was like, I didn't know my kiss was that fucking strong. Yes. Embarrassed himself. Are you not embarrassed? He probably embarrassed himself. So then he said he would marry Hannah, of course, because, you know, that's his girl at the end of the day. That's his ride or die, that's his friend. And pied Georgia S. I was like, yes, Georgia S got another one. She got another one. So then, with Callum, he snogged Arabella. He married Georgia S. Bleh. And pied Molly. But we knew that was going to happen, and Georgia S was just looking on like with that sneaky ass grin on her face, and I was like, you know what, my girl, at least Molly isn't doing the shit that you're doing. At the end of the day, Molly's got some moral standing, some high ground, do you know what I mean? But Georgia S has got no high ground. So Tom snubbed Molly because he fancies the hell out of Molly because she's beautiful. Georgia S didn't like the sound of that in the slightest. He married Georgia S and basically turned around and said the reasons why is that she has good morals, and he says that when she puts her eyes onto someone else, she has only eyes for that guy 100%. But we'll move on. And he pied Arabella. So you got Josh snogged Arabella, married Sophie, but pied Molly. Chris snogged Sophie, married Kaz, which I was so happy for because Kaz is beautiful, and then pied himself, which I was shocked for, because he said he'd been involved in a lot of drama and just wanted the night off. So people literally said, yeah, rated him for that, to be fair, because he pied himself. So it was the girls' turn. A lot of drama in the girls' turn, like, seriously. So Georgia H snogged Mitch, married Anton, pied Josh, of course. Hannah snogged Tyler, married Anton, even though Tyler was looking hard when she was marrying Anton. And Anton was basically confused. He said that he was confused because the girls are saying exactly what they want in a man or how they see him, but nobody then wants him. And then she pied Mitch because of Libby. You know it was going to be a Mitch pieing. Like last time in Mitch's season, every rotted gal pie Mitch. And he's just going to turn out to be the same this season. So Kaz snogged Anton. And that was a good kiss. It was a good kiss. And I think it kind of made Anton see Kaz a little bit differently. We'll hope. And give him a little bit of, you know, a little bit of the flutters, but we'll see. So Kaz did have a little flirt on with Anton after that kiss. And I saw Tyler looking a little bit perturbed by them doing what they did. But I'm like, you know what? Kaz is doing her own thing. Kaz is doing her own thing. Don't you dare jump in between whatever the fuck Kaz wants to get on with at the end of the day. You've made your choice with Hannah. Leave Kaz alone with your mixed messages, Tyler. So she married Toby and then pied Mitch because, of course, Libby's a girl. Of course, she was gonna pie Mitch. So Arabella snogged Toby, married Josh, but of course, pied Chris. You know that was going to happen. You know it was. So Libby snogged Chris, married Toby, pied Mitch, but Libby said her home truths in why she pied Mitch. So basically, she told Mitch that she hoped he learned from what he did to her and treated Georgia H better than he treated her. Told him that he had the emotional maturity of a 2-year-old. I've literally been saying this about Mitch all the time, that he has no maturity, no emotional ineptness at all. And basically told him that he wasn't worth a pie, and she had nothing left to say and walked off. And I thought, you know what, that deserved a round of applause for Libby, because, yeah, that, come on, my gal, come on. So then, Georgia S snogged Callum, and basically, after she snogged Callum and gave the reason why she kissed Callum, my gal was giving eyes to Tom, and Tom clocked it, and then Tom asked Tyler, did you clock that? And Tyler was, yes, I clocked that too. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So she's sending subliminals now, right in front of people's peepers, and the only 2 people that picked it up was Tom and Tyler. So she married Tom. I'm thinking Georgia S is a brave one, ain't she? She a brave one. And then she pied Mitch, and when she pied Mitch, she nearly snapped his head back, like literally snapped his head back. So then the lad started moaning about Mitch getting pied more, but it was more so Josh that set it out there, because he was kind of right. Because at the end of the day, everybody was thinking, well, why would you pie Mitch even if it's for Libby in that sense, knowing full well that Toby pied your ass? The remit would have been you pieing Toby back for whatever shape or reason. So Georgia S was going off. And literally Toby just turned around and said, your voice, please. Like, literally shut her down. Because basically Toby even said that Georgia S copped out. And she did. Georgia S copped out in terms of that pie. She didn't need to give it to Mitch at the end of the day. She should have given it to Toby, but she didn't. And I'm like, at the end of the day, the girls pick where they want to go with this pie shit. Whatever reason they want to give, they do it the same way that the lads do. So Sophie then snogged Chris, married Josh, and pied Tyler. And Sophie called Tyler out for his mixed messages with Kaz. Yeah, his mixed messages with Kaz. Because it's true. Very much true. So then it ended with Molly snogging Tom, marrying Anton, and then pieing Callum, which we knew that was coming. And then Mitch had to have the last say, didn't he? He had to have the last say by saying that's a woman with her own thoughts, because everybody else had pied Mitch to Kingdom Come. Anyway, that's where that episode ended, and I'll be back very soon with the next episode. As I always say, my renegades, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so we know I'm going to do videos, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.